Hello, everybody. I know it's been a while, but I hope everything's well, and as always, let's jump right into this. Now, it says here the black man in H.P. Lovecraft, The Dreams in the Witch House, was grounded in the folklore of the Salem witch trials and earlier. The witch Kazeda Mason informs us that Walter Gilman must meet the sinister character, the black man. He must meet the black man and go with them all to the throne of Azathoth at the center of ultimate chaos. Now, Azathoth is a being in one of Lovecraft's folklores that's so powerful that he's dreaming up reality. He's asleep, though. And if he were to ever wake up, reality would end. Okay? Now it says, that was what she said. He must sign in his own blood the book of Azathoth and take a new secret name that his independent delvings have gone so far. Now, this is Menoshohai. Comes from the book The Gods of Pagana. This being was inspired by the being Azathoth. Okay? Now, as you can see, it looks like a black man sleeping. This is supposed to be a representation of the black man and the black woman. Alright? Mind you, I did not draw this. Alright? But as you can see, the stars in his afro and the many different omniverses and other realities beyond that he's dreaming up. Okay? Now, you can see this lesser deity playing this drum. And if you see the pale skin and the red hair, which we all know what that represents, okay? This being plays this drum to keep Menoshohai asleep. Because if he were to ever wake up, again, reality as you know it would end, okay? So he plays this drum, or this frequency, which serves as distractions, alright? So that Menoshohai can be trapped, his soul can be fractaled and trapped within the many different realities and beyond those realities, and his soul fractaled and trapped in those many different realities and beyond, okay? And the waking is the reemergence of the singularity, all right? These beings, like we talked about before, have the capabilities to take pieces of those worlds or realities, omniverses being dreamed up, and make false worlds and have the soul fractalized even more, all right? Now, this is the show Lovecraft, all right? They only came out with one season, and they're not making any more from what I've been told, and that's for good reason. They showed too much in the first season, all right? Like even one of the scenes, there was a white woman who was trying to steal the black man's energy. The black woman ends up stopping it, all right? But right now, I'm going to show you a clip of Hippotola coming in contact or interfacing with a being called Beyond Sist, and this being is telling her that she can pretty much reintegrate into the society where she would not need the device anymore to breathe into space because she has made the transformation. And we talked about this before. We are fallen gods and goddesses. So when you become that, you don't raise back to that. You become something more than that. All right? So right now you are becoming beyond a god, beyond a goddess. All right? At this time, I'm going to play this clip.
Myth.
I got curious.
Now that you've named yourself, we can fully integrate you into our society. You no longer need the devices on your wrists.
Is the change permanent?
Yes.
And if I don't change, can I go back through that portal that brought me here? Back home?
Yes. We can send you back to your Earth.
Feels like the wrong word. How can I fit in everything that I am now? Into that place. That Hippolyta. She was so small. But deep. She needs me.
So in that clip we just watched, it's also showing you the transitional phase. So which I talked about in my previous videos, where you are given a choice whether you want to make the transitional phase to become a higher being or reincarnate into higher realities. Okay? Now in this book, it also mentions the transitional phase and the omniverse. Alright? So it says here, picking up speed, I saw every single room in the hospital, including patients and staff, as well as past, present, and future. Of everything that whizzed past me, Monique describes life as a cycle involving another dimension. At that point, everything went black, and a sense of nostalgia and childlike innocence overcame Monique, as well as a feeling of maturity over everything she left behind in her life. She said gradually a sense of sight developed around her, like a sphere, that I myself was a part of. I seemed to have ended up in the omniverse, as another image formed below me. In fact, it formed around me and through me. Monique's perception of accelerated speed and motion through things or people suggests the quantum effects of light speed in non-locality. She ascends through a light spectrum, enveloped in a soft tornado of all colors with its tip pointed at the Earth's atmosphere. Now remember I talked about that. Pretty much she's mentioning the Taurus field. And remember the Sirius is the brightest star in the sky and it's the rainbow star. I'm going to talk about that in a different video. But it does emit all the different colors. Alright? Which you can go watch in my video, The Stars of the Infinite Plane. And it will show that. Okay? Which is beaming or projecting this particular reality. Alright? She enters the eye of the tornado with the sense that she was soaring to the center. Monique said, I sensed and knew instinctively that this force had the shape of a hourglass, and that it will expand at some point, become even bigger than the place I had come from. She then experiences different levels and dimensions, ascending and descending, and then everything becomes a warm black, as she realizes that pure, warm, soft black is also light. Now remember, in the video with Bobby Hemmett, when we talked about the reincarnation trap, he said go to the darkness. Okay, because that's where you will receive the true light. Alright? Don't go to the false light or you'll reincarnate into these lower realities. Or these false realities made by these beings I mentioned earlier. Now it says here, as she realizes that pure, warm, soft black is also a light of kind of energy, palpable even without a body, raising higher through the levels, she senses a parts of both myself and others in my life review, and that she would arrive at the purest form of consciousness. Okay? So right there, it shows that during this transition phase, and you again become this higher being. Okay. Now this is written by the same person who wrote the ISIS thesis. Now this movie is by called Everything and Everywhere at Once. All right, which it talks about. It makes reference to the omniversal being of chaos. Okay, that transcends the multiverse. All right. So at this time, I'm gonna play that clip for you.
How did I die?
I've seen you die 1,000 ways in 1,000 worlds. And every single one, you were murdered.
What? Why would anybody want to kill me?
She's an omniversal being with unimaginable power, an agent of pure chaos with no real motives or desires. Jobu Tabaki.
You're just making up sound.
So as you can see, they're revealing a lot in these shows and movies now. Well, as we know, because it's the times. And as you can see in Scientific American, the universe is not locally real, and the physics Nobel Prize winners proved it. So like I keep saying and trying to reiterate, that our universe, this whole reality, is being projected by higher realities. That's why it's not locally real. You understand? Now, Forbes says here that we live in a low energy universe where the atoms in our bodies and the collisions that take place, various particles, are less than 1/billionth the energy of what the Large Hadron Collider reaches. This is why they build these the LHCs, or the Large Hadron Colliders, okay, which I talked about in a previous video, where they said they're pushing the boundaries of human knowledge, okay? But remember that, talking about lower universes. Now here, this is just pretty much a reference, so you can get the concept of what I'm trying to tell you about the omniverse and realities higher than that. Now it says here the omniverse is the largest of the classical verses, surpassing a multiverse or even any of the arc verses by transfinite factor. While frequently argued to contain absolutely everything, there are limits to the omniverse extent reached when one attempts to derive something not a part of a given understanding of reality. Okay? Which comes the Godverse. All right? Which is these higher realities beyond the omniverse, which contains everything. All right? This is what you would see call higher dimensions. All right? So God-verses are realms beyond the omniverse that are home to deities and gods. They are three verses, God verses, within the barrel. The barrel pretty much serving as also being the microcosm. We're going to talk about that soon. One belonging to the creator, one belonging to the destroyer, and one belonging to the hyperman. All right. Again, this is not something we're actually saying is real as far as the context is, the hyperman, the creator, and stuff like that, because you are different variations of your own creator, all right, which is your soul, and you're the destroyer. This hyperman is talking about a person who came from a higher reality and was able to transcend his own reality and in a sense become like a god, but pretty much just an ascended being in a sense. But he only can transcend so much. According to, I read it, it's only according to so much. I don't want to talk about that right now, though. All right. So then you got the outside, which is nothingness. That's outside of the omniverse and the Godverse. Okay. Then the microcosm, which is the name for the supercontinent arcverse above and containing the omniverse. All right, so think of this more as a multi-omniverse, Godverse, etc. All right, because it says here, our multicosm includes one omniverse, two Godverses, the beyond realm, and the outside. Okay, so again, think of this as being the omni-God / multiverse, Godverse, beyond realm / outside. All right. Now we also have the beyond. All right, which is not the beyond realm, it's something different. Now, this contains all of what I mentioned previously. All right, so you see this picture to the right. Think of that, of you dreaming of all these different microcosms, which contains different omniverses. All right, and Godverses. All right, and you have the transcendent, the transcendentum. All right, probably butchered that name a little bit. So this is bubbles of the infinite of what I just mentioned previously. Okay, so this is the realm of which one comes from. It's outside of known reality. All right, immeasurable, infinite. This goes into the Googleplex when it comes into the numbers, where it's just one with an infinite amount of zeros behind it. All right. Then you have the transcendent continuum, which is even a further existence of that, pretty much showing all of the beyond bubbles, and one beyond bubble contains one microcosm, monocosm, contains an omniverse, a Godverse, or two Godverses, etc. It varies. Okay, this is what I'm trying to give you the idea of where we fell from. All right, which makes you, like I said before, beyond a God. It even gets into the omnipotency hierarchies. All right, think of it as being a God amongst gods. So there's different qualities. It even says here, omnipotency is the quality of being all powerful, in which there are different levels. Okay, so do you understand where I'm coming from now with this? It's reaching another level of omnipotency, where I mentioned in a different video, where you'll be able to transcend not just different dimensions, different Godverses, different omniverses, different microcosms. All right, different beyond bubbles, endless realities, endless existence. And I'm going to leave you with this. This is from the book, The Isis Thesis. The deceased you is all the gods at once in the space of the afterlife. That is, he/she is Osiris, Horus, Maat, Thoth, Re Autumn, Corprime, Hathor, crocodile, a swallow, the lotus bird on the limitless plain. Thus, we begin to understand the polytheistic mindset of the Egyptians, for there are many gods or molecules in the afterlife, all equally important due to the quantum magic of non-locality decoded. The deceased states, which is you, I daily live after death. I spend eternity alive. King is not dead, is rejuvenated. Earth gods are powerless over king and queen. Eternal king and queen will not die on earth among men. That's you. Okay? Again, you're becoming beyond gods. All right. But thank you for listening, and peace and balance to the ancient ones.